In today's video, I'll be talking about the Canada Housing Benefit and how renters can get up to $500 tax-free. But first, don't forget to subscribe to the Money Time Coaching channel below. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of this helpful content going forward. First of all, in order to be eligible to receive the $500 rent credit, you need to have filed your taxes for the previous year. Don't worry, if you haven't, reach out to me and I can connect you with the supports who can provide tax services free of charge. That's right, they don't take a portion of your tax return or charge a fee to do your taxes. They do it for absolutely free. Before I get into how to get the $500 rent credit, I want to mention that close to 5 million Canadians, or as many as 1 in 10 Canadians, don't file their taxes. Here's why this is a problem. Ottawa actually owes the majority of people who don't file their taxes big money. The only thing to worry about when it comes to filing your taxes is the possible impending shock of finding out how much money the federal government owes you for the years of missed benefits. But the reality of the situation is that you will not be able to get any money back in taxes at all if you don't file your taxes to begin with. And the way the government works is that they don't just give you money because you say you need it. They need to verify whether or not you're eligible by referencing your tax filings. This means if you haven't filed your taxes, even though you're eligible to receive the benefits, you won't be able to receive it because there will be nothing to verify your eligibility. This frustrates me a lot because the people who miss out on receiving the money that they need from benefits that they are eligible for are often the young and most heavily concentrated in the lower income brackets. Ask yourself this question. If we know that so many Canadians are not filing their taxes, why is nothing being done to effectively resolve the problem? The answer, in my opinion, is because a lot of highly skilled financial professionals simply consider the opportunity cost to be too high, given that the majority of people who don't file their taxes are often in the lower income bracket. Put another way, it means that highly skilled financial professionals don't see reminding lower income people to file their taxes as being worth their time. For example, when I was earning a lower income, the banks never cared to remind me of taxes or RRSP loan offers. However, the moment my income improved, I suddenly received calls from the bank's financial advisor, which genuinely felt like they cared about my financial portfolio and investments. However, at that point, I understood the money game, and the only reason the bank appeared as though they genuinely cared is because the financial advisor did care about the commission he would have received if I allowed him to manage my finances. This is why I'm starting the movement of normalizing money conversations and making it cool to have a financial coach, because it's people who genuinely need the help who have no idea where to turn for it. People who are looking for help don't want to be talked down to and treated like idiots. Instead, they want someone who will meet them where they are and keep them on track to do the things they say they will do. At the same time, I can't point all the blame at highly skilled financial professionals because I believe that some Canadians are simply scared of the CRA. If the CRA partnered with financial coaches, I believe fear can be mitigated, especially on a micro level, with positive effects on a macro level, with more Canadians filing their taxes and securing the money that they deserve. What is the Canada Housing Benefit? It's a one-time top-up that aims to help low-income renters with the cost of renting. The CRA, which is the Canada Revenue Agency, administers this one-time payment. You have until Friday, March 31st, 2023 to apply for this benefit before it ends. Who can apply? Eligibility criteria. You need to be at least 15 years old on December 1st, 2022. Your principal residence has to be in Canada on December 1st, 2022. You also have to be a resident of Canada for tax purposes in 2022. You need to also have filed your 2021 tax return or statement of income, and if you have a spouse or common law partner, they have to have their taxes filed for 2021 tax return or their statement of income. An important thing to note is that if you didn't file a 2021 tax return or statement of income, you can still apply for the one-time payment as long as you and your spouse or common law partner file a 2021 tax return or statement of income before applications are closed. If you were not a resident of Canada during 2021, if you have not done so yet, you need to submit a statement of income before you apply. Your adjusted family net income in 2021 must be less than $35,000 for families and less than $20,000 for individuals. For 2022, eligible rent you paid was paid in the 2022 calendar year and paid for any of your qualifying principal residences in 2022. They also have to equal at least 30% of your 2021 adjusted family net income. All of what was previously mentioned is required to be eligible for the one-time top-up to the Canadian housing benefit. Some important things to note is that applications cannot be made on behalf of someone else. This means that the applicant must be alive on the day in which their application for the one-time top-up to the Canada housing benefit is made. And you do not need other housing benefits to qualify for this new federal one-time payment. Verifying your eligibility. So I've been doing my taxes a while now, and whether or not you do your taxes yourself or someone else does it for you, it's possible that the CRA can, request that you provide receipts or update them with the records that support the amounts that you may claim in taxes. As a heads up, if you're eligible for this benefit, make sure that you keep records and receipts to support the amounts in your application, because then you may end up in a situation where if you haven't properly stored your records, you wouldn't be able to prove that you were eligible to receive this payment. This is important because if you're called upon to provide more information, but you didn't keep the records and receipts to support the amount in your application, then it's possible that you may be later found to be ineligible after you already received a payment. If this is the case, the CRA will contact you to make arrangements to return a payment. So make sure you keep your records to avoid this from happening to you. What is eligible rent? Rent that is eligible for the one-time top-up to the Canada Housing Benefit refers to payments you made in 2022 under a lease, license, or similar arrangement to occupy a principal residence in Canada in 2022. What is not included in the rent is no payment that is specified on the lease for meals, board, or other services, utilities and taxes that are not part of the rental agreement, business expense deductions, rent for capital lease type arrangements. This would be like rent to own or other capital lease arrangements where a portion of the rent goes towards the purchase of property. Rent paid to a parent or another relative. There is an exception for this, however. It's in the instance that the CRA would consider the payment as rental income for tax purposes for the parent or relative who received it. Then they can be included. I hope you're enjoying this video so far. If you're worried about receiving a large lump sum tax refund because you don't know what to do with it, please reach out to me and book a session at moneytimecoaching.com. where we can strategize how to enhance your financial performance. If your marital status changed in 2022, if you got married in 2022 before December the 1st, 2022, only one spouse is eligible to receive the one-time payment. You must include rent you paid in 2022 before you were married. Rent your spouse paid in 2022 before you're married what must be included as well, and you also have to include rent you paid in 2022 as a married couple. However, if you got married after December 1st, 2022, then you will still be considered as single or widowed for this benefit. So, for this application, just include the total amount of rent you paid in 2022 up to the day before you got married. Include a portion of the total amount of rent paid in 2022 by you and your cohabitating spouse or common law partner from the day you got married. Separated or divorced? For this benefit to apply, you would have to have been separated before December the 1st, 2022, and 90 days must have passed since the separation before you submit your application. In your application, you would need to include your portion of the total amount of rent paid in 2022 by you or your cohabitating spouse or common law partner, up to the day before you started living separate or apart. Also include the total amount of rent paid in 2022 starting on the first day you were living separate and apart. If you got separated or divorced in 2022 after December 1st, 2022, your marital status remains the same for the purpose of this benefit because it was prior to you getting separated or divorced. This means that you would still be considered married for this benefit. Only one spouse or common law partner is eligible to receive the one-time payment. What's interesting here is that the benefit will go to the first spouse or common law partner to apply. If you apply, include the rent you paid as a married couple in 2022, rent after you were separated or divorced, and rent from your former spouse paid in 2022 after you were separated or divorced. If you become widowed in 2022, include the total amount of rent paid in 2022 by your cohabitating spouse or common law partner up to the day before you became widowed. Include the total amount of rent you paid in 2022 starting the first day you became widowed. If you lived apart from your spouse or common law partner, maybe one spouse was going to school and lived in a different location, or one spouse was away for work, but the living apart was not due to a breakdown in the relationship. Only one spouse or common law partner is eligible to receive the one-time payment. If this applies to you, then include the total amount of rent paid in 2022 for both the principal residences, regardless of which spouse or common law partner paid the rent. If you moved during 2022, include rent paid in 2022 for all principal residences you lived in during 2022 for the first time that they were your primary residence. If you shared rent, if rent payments were shared by multiple families or individuals, like including roommates, living at the same address, even if only one individual was making the payments to the landlord, each apply as separate family units or individuals. Each enter the portion of the rent that you paid. If you lived in a mobile home, eligible rent would include lot rental fees for your principal residence, such as for a mobile home. The important part here is that lot rental fees must be under a lease, license, or similar arrangement to qualify as rent. Estimate your income and rent. There's a section that you can go to that helps you estimate your income and rent. This is helpful because it helps you avoid claiming this benefit if you are not eligible. You just have to make sure that if you're a family, your income is $35,000 or less. And if you're applying as an individual, it's $20,000 or less. The other requirement is that you paid at least 30% of your 2021 adjusted family net income in rent in 2022. For adjustments, they require you to state whether or not you claimed RDSP income or made an RDSP repayment in 2021. And if you claim Universal Child Care Benefit income or make a Universal Child Care Benefit repayment in 2021. Get ready to apply. So there's 4 steps you need to do in order to apply. Number 1, file your income taxes. Number 2, gather your rent information. Number 3, confirm you have access to your CRA My account. Number 4, set up direct deposit. This will allow you to receive the money quicker instead of the mail. How to apply? You can apply through your My CRA account to get payment as quickly as possible. It takes about 5 business days to get payment when you do it through your My CRA account. If you can't apply through your My CRA account or My Service Canada account, then you want to apply by phone. When you do it by phone, it usually takes about 10 business days to get payment processed. No impact on your taxes. The payment is not taxable. This means you will not need to report the one-time payment on your income tax return. There's also no impact on other benefits. This Canada Housing Benefit does not reduce other federal income tested benefits, such as the Canada Worker Benefit, Canada Child Benefit, Good and Services Tax Credit, and Guaranteed Income Supplement. However, impacts on provincial or territorial benefits will be determined at the discretion of each province or territory. So you just want to make sure that there's nothing that will affect your benefits based on the province you live in. After you apply, if your application is selected for review, you may need to submit more documents. The CRA will contact you by mail, so ensure that your contact information is up to date. If you disagree with the decision, then you must ask for a review within 90 days of the date of the decision. And if you disagree with the result from a second review, then you can apply to the federal court for a judicial review of the CRA decision within 30 days of the date of the second review. I hope this video was helpful in helping you to learn how to access this benefit of $500 tax-free. And I hope that you enjoyed my little rant. I hope that my rant in the beginning was enough to encourage you of the importance of filing your taxes consistently year after year. Because if you don't, you're missing out on benefits that can help you financially. So I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you haven't already, make sure you don't forget to subscribe to the Money Time Coaching channel and hit that notification bell, because it'll make sure you don't miss any of this helpful content going forward. Thanks. See you in my next one.
Subscribe now.